for the council. Okay. And what he has done is he's asked me to get in touch with you all, and we come up with a time. Well, maybe sometime this week. I don't know what your schedule is like. Yeah, we can go up there. We can hear from you. Because what he said is that maybe when this back, you put in notes or whatever, he only had like 3 calls this year for that stuff. So maybe it's going in. Yeah, so.
We got 1 minute.
But he wants to sit down, have that conversation. So we just gotta figure out a date and time for that. I apologize to you all, but
everybody take your seat at this time, please. All right, I want to thank everyone for being in attendance tonight. I want to welcome you to the meeting. Again, I want to say good evening and welcome to the regular meeting of the Council of Garfield Heights. Today is August the 11th, Monday, 2025. And at this time, we will have our invocation and pledge of allegiance by Councilman Smith.
Shall we all stand, please? Before we go into our prayer, I would like to take a moment to have a moment of silence for one Mr. Chuck Donahue, who served on city council, and we learned of his passing, and we just want to lift up his family in prayer at this time. So if we would just take a moment of silence as it relates to him. Eternal God, our Father, we come now thanking and praising you for this opportunity to share, to lift up your name in our business even. And we ask that you direct our path. We ask, Lord God, that you bring the cohesiveness that we need. We ask, Lord God, that you lead us and guide us. We ask that you bless this event right now in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Please turn your attention, if you would remain standing, turning your attention to the flag. I will lead you in our pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
All right, Madam Clerk, can we please have a roll call, please?
Ms. Collier.
Here.
Ms. Mack. Here. Mr. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Johnson.
Present.
Ms. Thompson. Here. Mr. Kelly.
Here.
Mr. Rhodes. Here.
We have a quorum now. At this time, can we have a reading and disposal of our last minutes, please? Motion, please. Councilwoman Clark.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Clark.
I ask that we dispose of the meetings of the regular caucus meeting for Monday, July 14th, 2025.
In the regular meeting?
Yes, I'm sorry. That's in the regular council meeting. Because I said caucus, I do apologize.
No problem, ma'am. The motion been placed on the floor by Councilwoman Collier for the disposal of our last council caucus and meeting. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
It's been so moved and seconded by Councilman Kelly. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed say no. The yes have it. Madam Clerk, at this time, is there any written communications to council?
None that I
All right, if there's no written communications to council, at this time, are there any committee reports? If there are no committee reports, we will move on to reports of the mayor and or directors.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have some sad news. We did address the news about the passing of former council person and Council Pro Tem Chuck Donahue on August 9th. But I also wanted to make you aware that our Assistant Law Director has lost his daughter, his second daughter, succumbed to some medical issues that they were having. And no parent should ever bury one child, let alone two. So I would like to ask for a moment of silence for Kevin Weiler and his family and for his daughter, Connie. Thank you. We will continue to pray for the families and, all I can say about Councilman Donahue was he was an American hero. I mean, those of us that knew him differently than just being up here on this council, he was a guy that you can debate with. He was a guy that there was a lot of times that maybe you had arguments with. But at the end of the day, as sick as he was, he would show up and he would always be there for this city. And there was some controversial moments when I served with them, the 7.5, almost 8 years that I served on city council, and seeing him when he first got elected and seeing him when he eventually retired from the public life. He was always a generous man. Every holiday, every time we tried to put something together for the people at the service garage or the police department, for any kind of a luncheon, if we were putting together baskets for people, he was one of the guys that would not hesitate to reach into his pocket and say, here, I want to contribute. So yes, on a sad note, another sad note with our city, MPAC. MPAC was the very first company that moved into Highland Park. If you remember, City View Shopping Center turned into Highland Park. And it was a chore to try to get companies to come to Garfield Heights. All they heard about was negative. And I sat in meetings with Mayor Kalova at the time to try to get this company to come into Garfield Heights. And even Mayor Kalova was a little he had a lot of apathy about trying to get him here. And when I took over as the mayor, I sat down with them and basically we negotiated a payroll job growth incentive, and they never actually took us up on that. They never actually said, hey, we want our 40% for job growth. They gave that back to the city of Garfield Heights by not even honoring that. And then when you sit down with them and say, why are you guys leaving? And they said, it's because the uncertainty of the market, because of the tariffs that the federal government puts on. They just don't feel that they can have two locations. And they had acquired a location in Boston, Massachusetts, and they're combining and consolidating both locations. So Garfield Heights lost out on that. But I'm not as upset about it as what you would think, because we have a lot of people coming to Garfield Heights. We have a lot of businesses, a lot of phone calls. My office gets a lot of phone calls. I want to say thank you to everybody that applied for the exterior home repair grant. I thank this council for supporting that. Just to give you an update, we had roughly 90 some people that qualified for the program, but the funding ran out at about 66 grants. And the people that got the grant are happy, and I think the people that didn't get it are going to be a little upset. But the challenge is finding more ways of funding that grant. And we have some opportunity to take money that we're putting into an economic development fund from the sale of some land bank properties that we have that are in negotiation right now. And we can possibly refurbish that grant fund for next year. So the people that didn't get it, they can reapply again for the next round. I also want to point out that if you guys have gone down East 98th Street, Transportation Boulevard, you've seen where the county has fenced it off. They put that big sign up that says future home of the Cuyahoga County campus. I jokingly tell everybody that is our Area 51, right? I mean, it's like a desolate area. But I'm very excited about that because that's growth. That's a $1 billion, it's going to be a $1 billion investment into our city. $1 billion. By the time it's said and done, that's how much the county is going to spend in Garfield Heights just to build that facility. And that's something we need to be proud of. I also want to report that I spoke, and this has been a 3-year project for me, countless meetings over the last 3 years to try to make something happen here. The transportation road extension, that road through to Rockside, that's the longest 3/4 mile in Garfield Heights history.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Right.
Has had so many roadblocks put in front of it that I mean, I get emotional just thinking about this. But Lee Boyes, the owner of Boyes Excavating, sat in my office the other day and said, my dad wanted this road to go through. I want to do this because my dad wanted it. And they are applying for the All Ohio Future Fund. But I'm going to tell you the countless studies that we've had to do with Cuyahoga County to get an economic impact study done in that region. Just so you know, the economic impact study said that Garfield Heights is going to benefit from this, but not as much as the rest of the county, the rest of the state. This is all stuff we wanted to hear because this is state money that could be had to put this road through. I negotiated the right-of-way transition to get the property to put the road through with Boyes. And they have agreed to it, and they're going to apply for this All Ohio Future Fund. It is $30-some million that they are going to apply for. That is huge because nothing has been done in 15 years or so about that road. So as soon as that application goes in, I will be working the phones with Lydia Mahalik trying to get that funding from the state of Ohio. If we can't get All Ohio Future Funds, they're going to point out some other funding mechanisms that we can get. This is huge, huge for the city of Garfield Heights. Bigger than anything else that's currently on the agenda. Let me just say that. And to say that, I had everybody at the table, Lee Boyes, the city of Garfield Heights, Cuyahoga County, and the state of Ohio to get this plan going is unbelievable to me. And I just want to say, I continue to get phone calls ever since we did the Turney Road Transit-Oriented Development Corridor. And if you've come to my Grilling with the Mayor series and some of my town hall meetings, and I've been in people's backyards with residents who want to get a group together to talk. And I show those boards. I carry them in my car with me. I show those boards that tell you about the Turney Road, the future of Turney Road and the construction. We are getting people that want to build in Garfield Heights. The residents have done their due diligence and voted to pass issue 14, which eliminated a big, big barrier. And what happens? At the planning meeting last week, next door to Charlie's Cheesesteak, that empty lot, somebody wants to build a new facility there with 3 spaces in it for retail. How are we gonna get that retail here? We have to attend conferences that will attract them. We have to have marketing tools to attract them. It's so important, and it's part of doing the business that we have to do. It's just part of the business. I want to remind everybody, this has not been an easy job. 5 years ago, when I took over, 4.5 years ago, when I took over as the mayor, we had a teeny little website. Nobody could get any information out of it. We updated that website. We have taken the city and moved it forward, remarketed with a new logo. We started to see businesses come. We started to address some of the other barriers we had, like the zoning code. Now, I'm going to tell you, not just as a mayor, but I want to remind people, I am also the Economic Development Director. And you know what? You know how much I get paid for that job? 0. I could hire somebody to be an assistant, pay him $75,000 a year, $80,000 a year, and put Janice in at $100 and some thousand to be an Economic Development Director. But I don't. I do that job. I also do the job as the Public Safety Director. If I had to hire somebody to be Public Safety Director, they would have to make as much as the police chief and the fire chief. And I don't want to say how much the police chief makes, but he's worth it. He's worth probably more than what we're paying him. And that's for the record. Especially when he's getting the phone calls that I know he gets. But if I had to hire a public safety director, and guess who does that job? Me. I don't get paid for that job. I save the city $280,000 in money that I could just go hire somebody else to do. And I work a lot of hours, but you know what the payoff is? The payoff is a thriving community that's growing. The payoff is we're starting to see places like Charlie's Cheesesteaks again. Wingstop. I was 5 hours yesterday standing at Arthur Treacher's because they asked me to. They asked me, hey, can you help us promote our business? And I thought, as the mayor and as the Economic Development Director, I should be there. I should do that. And we served the community yesterday. We served 112 single fish dinners at half off. $5, 2 pieces of fish, 2 hush puppies, and chips, and a beverage. The community got a meal for $5 and made it affordable. That's all I cared about. If I was the conduit to make that happen, then let's do it. And we're going to do the same thing with other businesses. They've already started to call me because the mayor actually wants to help promote businesses in the city of Garfield Heights. When has that ever happened in our city? You know, again, we have done a lot. And if you look around, you can see the difference in Garfield Heights today than you did 5 years ago. My question is, Garfield Heights is growing, and are you ready for it to grow? Because I am. I'm ready for it to grow, and I've been around Ohio to see what cities like us can accomplish with the right people and the right programs and the right things in it. When you look at Findlay, Ohio, the reason why I have such a great relationship with Lydia Mahalik is because I seen Findlay, Ohio grow. And she was the mayor that made it grow. So she understands the challenges we have here in Ohio. In Garfield Heights. And she wants to see us grow. So she's very helpful in getting that funding. You know, we could sit here and debate all day long about some of the things that we have on the agenda tonight, but the very most important thing, the biggest thing that I want to share with you tonight is that Lee Boyes is putting an application in with the support of the city of Garfield Heights and the support of Cuyahoga County to finally go after some funding to get money to put that road in. That's something that we should be happy about. It's not over. We still got a long way to go because we have to beg and beg and beg for the money. And as far as I'm concerned, if they'll give the Cleveland Browns $66 million or $660 million to build a stadium, they can give us $30 million to put in a road. And that's honestly, I think, where we have to go. So I appreciate it. Let me get into tonight's legislation. Ordinance number 65, 2025 is really just to work with the Ohio Public Works Commission and capital improvement for some water line replacement. Ordinance 66, 2025. I gotta commend Milko and Jeff and the police for coming together and really getting the union contract done with the patrol officers. These are guys that I really feel special about because they put their lives on the line every day. And I know that the phone calls they get sometimes and the criticisms they get sometimes, they let it go in one ear and out the other very well. So I think it's something that I'm happy to see, and I'm happy to see them get what they're looking for. Ordinance number 67 is the fireworks. I will just say this, looking at fireworks, and I've had a few phone calls, I wouldn't say with 29,800 people that live in the city of Garfield Heights, I may have had maybe 5 or 6 phone calls, and they were genuine phone calls about it. But when I asked, what do you want us to do? Because, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chief, I don't think you can arrest anybody for setting off fireworks. Regardless of whether they're legal or illegal, right? In Garfield Heights, you have to be 50 feet away from a structure, according to the ORC. And people aren't. They just light them off anyways. And I look at Cleveland, they opted out of their legislation. They said, we're going to make them illegal again. And 200 people took over Miles Avenue, and they just decided to take and start lighting off fireworks anyways. And what did the news do? Who do they blame? They blame the police. I mean, and when they asked the police chief in Cleveland, where's the police? She said, we were out responding to every other call we had for fireworks. So it's just the nature of something that I don't know that we have a solution for. Whether they're legal or illegal, people are doing it anyways. It'd be different if you can arrest them and put them in jail, but let's be honest, they get a ticket and they pay that ticket. And then as soon as the officer leaves, everybody at the party says, here's $20. We'll help you pay the ticket. I'll go back out to my car and get some more fireworks. I mean, that's the reality of this situation. And I just don't know how to change that. Regardless of whether they're legal or illegal, I think we're still going to have a problem. But what I don't want to see is our police officers get blamed for not doing enough. They have done enough, and this council has done enough to put more officers on the street over the last 4 years. We have 55 officers that we can put out on the street. I think we're trying to hire 2 more to fill all 55 slots. But honestly, you look at that and you look at Maple Heights, they're sitting at about 27 to 32 officers. We have a very good force here. We have the technology to back it up. And but again, I wish there was technology where we can catch people and put those fireworks out before they can light them off. Ordinance number 68 is, I just want to be clear. I don't know Dennis Quaid. I know of his movies. I'm not even sure that I'm the greatest fan he's ever had. But to get a phone call from the executive producer of the show to say, Mayor, we're looking at a whole bunch of cities nationwide, and we have done some research on Garfield Heights. We've seen a community that has changed. We've seen a community that was once in fiscal emergency that is now thriving, and We know you're trying to bring businesses into your community. We've seen everything that you do. I was on the phone with them for 2 hours talking about Garfield Heights on a Sunday. And he said, I can't guarantee you we're gonna pick you, but I did my best sales job for Garfield Heights that I think I could do. And the very next day, he called and said, we're interested. We're gonna do this piece on you. And when we looked at everything, we said, okay, I think this is a good way to do it. I was looking at having videos made, hiring New Image Media, who is somebody that we were looking at. And to really do it the right way, you get what you pay for. This isn't a use your camera phone and, produce a video on Garfield Heights. You have to do something that is going to be professional. And Janice Tubbs and I and John Lippis, we were just talking, before this guy even called us, we were just talking about how to get retail in here. Because the majority of the people that I talk to say, we want restaurants, we want a shoe store, we want clothing stores, we want this type of stuff. And there's the International Convention of Shopping Centers out there that we want to attend in Chicago next year. And we're gonna need marketing material for that. This gives us our marketing material at probably half of what it would normally cost to do something right, do something that's of any value. So I hope council sees, like I do, that this is a good investment, but that's really up to council. And I don't think, you have, the money is in the budget that was approved earlier this year. That's the thing that confuses me. Like we're asking, where's the money coming from? It's already in the budget. It was already voted on. It just comes out of the general fund. The money is in the general fund and it's going to be used for that. And I've been doing this 7.5, 8 years. I understand it, I know. Ordinance 69, that's to buy a new police vehicle, new Tahoe. Accidents happen. We have people that crash into our stuff. I did get a phone call. How come these vehicles are stripped down and don't have anything in them? Because to save the city money, we take the equipment out of the one that got banged up and put it into the new one. Is that a crime? No, it's the smart way of doing business. Ordinance number 70, 2025 and 71, 2025 are really just to levy the special assessments to the county for our rubbish tax, our rubbish fees and our lot maintenance fees. And really, that is the extent of my report. Thank you, Mr. President.
I want to thank the mayor for his report. At this time, we will move on to, is there any communications on the agenda for the night?
Oh, I apologize. Council Clerk reminded me that we do have our police chief here with us tonight. I didn't recognize him during the call, so my apologies, Chief K. If there's anything you'd like to add, Chief K.
No report, but thank you, sir.
All right. At this time, we'll go to our communications on the agenda, and we'll have the clerk read the rules if we have someone that's addressing tonight's agenda.
Comments shall be strictly limited to brief statements not to exceed 5 minutes, with comments limited to legislation on the current evening's agenda. No citizen shall speak more than once.
Okay. Ms. Craig?
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Good evening. My question is for the mayor in regards to your discretion. Is it general fund or is it a discretionary fund? Because I don't know, so I'm just asking.
It's Fund 101 General Fund. It was also included in the legislation, and certified by Park Byro, our fiscal officer. It's really just money that's in the general fund that was already approved.
Is that something is that an interchangeable word? General fund, discretionary fund? I don't know.
No, every city has a general fund. And that fund is something that is really the heartbeat of the city. Now, a lot of people don't realize, and we've had this discussion for years where people say, why can't you use this money that's in the rec fund to fix our streets? Because it's against the law, right? You can only put money into different funds. You can take from the general fund and put it into other funds, but you cannot take from the other fund and put it back into the general fund.
So
It's public accounting.
how much, can I ask how much money is in the general fund and the council approved that amount already? Well, it's in the general fund, right?
Yeah, I don't have the number in front of me.
Is that renewable every year or is it like a spend down account?
No, go ahead.
I think our general fund is over $20 million. The unencumbered balance, meaning that free to be used, I think, I'm not the finance director, but for my latest number that I saw, I would say over $2 million that we have unencumbered in the general fund that we could use towards that $30,000. If that's the question you're asking, the screen.
Okay, so
I want to clarify too is the city of Garfield Heights, and I don't know if people are aware of this.
is this counting against my time?
Yes.
No, it's
No.
not.
$80 million is what we run as a budget. $80 million in our city.
That's the overall budget.
Overall budget. That's the money coming in and going out. $80 million.
Okay, I guess what I'm getting to is, I think you had mentioned that you can use, whether they approve it or not, you can use what you want when you want to use it, right?
That's right. I mean,
Okay.
I can use, I have the discretion up to 77,000, Milko, in the state of Ohio, I think.
Fiscal year,
That I can, no,
no,
per transaction, if I really wanted to, I think.
70,000 per transaction.
So this is, if you're talking about this particular ordinance, it's
Okay.
29,300.
Let me address that real fast, if I may, Mr. President. What the mayor is referring to is what we call competitive bidding in Ohio. Under law, certain purchases that exceed, it used to be $75,000. It's adjusted by 3% every year. So currently it's $77,250. So typically, if we were to buy something above that amount, not everything, but certain things, that would require council approval. There's exceptions to that, of course. This purchase is within that number. So
Okay,
the reason why I believe the mayor alluded to earlier is one of it is transparency, so we're all on the same page. This particular project that came about is not something that we typically spend money on. Now, we could have gone, the mayor could have gone and taken it out of the fund, or if he had already appropriated money for certain things, he could have simply done it.
he could have just did it, but he wanted to be
Correct. I
transparent.
think the idea is we all want to be on the same page with this thing because it wasn't a routine purchase that we see all the time. I'll use the example for the Tahoe that we're purchasing.
I mean, I get that. What I was leading to is some of the things that I guess, and community-wise, I guess we've asked for in the past, it was, I guess, smaller things that we didn't have money for. And as an example, we've asked, well, some of us have asked for like transportation to get youth back from Ward 1 over to the rec center so that they could come for the summer, or, could some of your discretionary funds be used for something like that, or no? Like to purchase, let's say like a bus or a van, or for the summer to pay part-time for a staff member to escort, to drive that bus or van to bring the kids back and forth during the summer. Could you use some of that money as the mayor?
It all depends on whether it comes from, what fund it comes from. If it's
As
recreation,
for your general fund or discretionary fund,
If it's
could you
recreation.
take that yourself and approve it?
absolutely. I
Okay,
can do that,
all right.
but, in an effort to be transparent with everybody, I mean, I try to make sure my council's on board with it.
Okay,
And, you know,
so could a citizen ask you to do that and you could just say yay or nay?
well, yeah, yes and no, because I would like to have a community engagement meeting around it, you know? Because I don't see that that really happens. And that's the reason why I do those town hall meetings every single month for the last 2 years.
And for something like a speed table, could you have approved that, yay or nay?
Well, we did in a meeting. I mean, it was public, you know, we had a public meeting and they showed them here and then,
Okay,
but as far as where they go, if that's what you're saying, as far as where they go, I rely on the police and the service department. Because you know why? They have the knowledge that you need to really incur the public safety. I mean, I could take every single phone call I get that somebody says, I need this and I need this, I need these speed bumps here. I had a guy that told me the other day.
my time is up, so I'll come back.
I'll finish up though. I had a guy the other day who said he wanted speed bumps in front of his house. But he had no idea that the three neighbors around him, when they were backing out of their driveway, would hit that speed bump. And when we explained that to him, why it went to where it was at, he understood. And that's just, you know.
Well, if you remember, if memory serves me right, I'm the one who originally addressed bringing those speed tables to Garfield Heights
Exactly.
and brought them to your attention. And Martin Luther King has yet to receive one. And we've had plenty of accidents,
Right.
and Osborne at the bottom where we've had deaths on that street. And I don't know how it was decided that Ward 1 got them, but that's a question for when I come
You're
back
right.
and speak
And
the
with
next
all due
time.
respect, Ms. Creighton, I'm looking at that area, even though
Because you were there when you
Right.
saw
I
those.
was there, you thanked me for coming out. We addressed all the improvements over there, cut back all that stuff, you know, and I found out that property belongs to the city of Cleveland. So we just spent our taxpayer money. We spent our taxpayer money at the request of you.
I can bring
the city of
you the map where those properties do not belong to the city of Cleveland, so you were misinformed.
No, those are in the city of Cleveland. I had it
Those
verified.
homes on the top of that
It has
hill,
nothing to do with the homes, it's the street.
on both sides, only on one side. So no, both sides of the street do not belong to the
Listen,
city.
I'm just glad we got it addressed. Thank you.
Well, I'm talking about the speed table. I'm not talking about
And the
sidewalks.
speed table is the city of Cleveland, and we will address it.
The street
I'm
is
not
the
saying
city of
we're not
Cleveland?
going to address it, but there you go.
Are you saying the street is the city of Cleveland?
That stretch of road is, yes,
The street itself,
yes. That stretch of road is,
from Thornhurst to,
right. We've already been in contact with
That's-
some of the city councilmen and.
That's not true. You've been misinformed. That's not true.
Then I stand corrected.
Thank
I'm
you,
sorry,
Captain.
ma'am, whatever.
Thank you again for your remarks, Ms. Creighton. We will duly note them at this time. If there's nobody else, council will go into our ordinances.
Time for me to speak.
Not yet, sir.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Ordinance number 65, 2025, sponsored by Mayor Matthew Burke, co-sponsored by Council President Avery Johnson, Councilwoman Stacy Collier, and Councilman Clifford Kelly. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor or his designee to do all things necessary to accept the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement and/or local transportation improvement funds for the multi-street reconstruction and water line replacement Phase 8 project per the application as prepared by the city engineer and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Thompson.
I would like to make a motion to consider by title ordinance number 65, 2025.
There's been a motion placed on the floor by Councilwoman Thompson for ordinance number 65, 2025. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been so moved and seconded by Councilman Kelly. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, say no.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Thompson.
I would like to make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
There's been a motion placed on the floor to suspend the 3 reading rules. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been so moved and seconded by Councilman Kelly. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, say no.
Mr. President, I would like to make a motion to waive Rule 24.
There's been a motion placed on the floor by Councilwoman Tony for the waiver of Rule 24. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been so moved and second by Councilman Kelly. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, say no. I'll call for the roll call on the adoption, beginning with Councilwoman Thompson.
Ms. Thompson,
Yes.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Ms. New Rose,
Yes.
Ms. Collier,
Yes.
Ms. Mack,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes. It passes 7-0.
Ordinance 66, 2025, sponsored by Mayor Matthew Burke, co-sponsored by Council President Avery Johnson, Councilwoman Stacy Collier, Councilman Clifford Kelly. An ordinance approving a collective bargaining agreement between the City of Garfield Heights and the Ohio Patrolmen's Benevolent Association and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Narone.
I'd like to make a motion to accept ordinance number 66-2025 by title, please.
There's been a motion placed on the floor to consider by title, ordinance number 66, 2025 by Councilwoman Narone. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been so moved and second by Councilwoman Townsend. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, say no.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to waive the three reading rule, please.
There's been a motion placed on the floor by Councilwoman Narone for suspension of the three reading rules. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been so moved and second by Councilwoman Townsend. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, say no.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to waive Rule 24.
There's been a motion placed on the floor by Councilwoman Narone for the waiver of Rule 24. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been so moved and second by Councilwoman Townsend. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, say no. I'll call for the roll call on the adoption, beginning with Councilwoman Narone.
Ms. New Rose,
Yes.
Ms. Collier,
Yes.
Ms. Mack,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes,
Ms. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Kelly.
Yes.
that passes 7-0.
Ordinance 67, 2025, sponsored by Mayor Matthew Burke, co-sponsored by all of the council. An ordinance amending Chapter 1519 fireworks of the codified ordinances of the City of Garfield Heights.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Narone.
I'd like to make a motion to move ordinance number 67-2025 to legislative committee, please.
There's been a motion placed on the floor to move ordinance number 67, 2025 into a legislative committee. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been so moved and second by Councilwoman Collier. All those in favor say yes.
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 Any opposed, say no. It passes 7-0. Put it in. All right. Let's wait.
Mr. President,
Ma'am,
before we read, or I don't know, Milko, if what is the ordinance should happen, but ordinance 68, 2025, I would like to make an amendment to the sponsorship of that ordinance.
Oh, which one? I'm sorry.
ordinance number 68.
68, 2025. I would like my name removed as co-sponsor of that ordinance.
We can make that now. You make a motion.
So, Mr. President,
Councilwoman Collier.
I would like to make a motion to amend 68, 2025 to remove Councilwoman Stacy Collier as co-sponsor.
There's a motion for ordinance number 68, 2025 through an amendment by Councilwoman Collier to have her name removed. All those in favor, can I get a second on that motion, please?
Second.
It's been so moved and seconded by Councilwoman Mack. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, say no. That passes.
Ordinance number 68, 2025, sponsored by Mayor Matthew Burke, co-sponsored by Council President Avery Johnson, Councilman Clifford Kelly. An ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into an agreement with Viewpoint to participate in the Discover America, Great Places to Live, Visit and Start a Business short-form documentary series and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President,
Councilman Smith.
I move to consider by title, ordinance number 68-2025.
There's been a motion placed on the floor to consider by title by Councilman Smith, 68, 2025. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been so moved and second by Councilman Kelly. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed say no. Councilman Smith.
Mr. President,
Sir.
I move to suspend the 3 reading rules.
There's been a motion placed on the floor for suspension of the 3 reading rules. Can I please have a second?
Second.
Been so moved and second by Councilman Kelly. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed say no.
No.
Mr. President,
Councilman Smith.
I move for a waiver of Rule 24.
There's been a motion placed on the floor for the waiver of Rule 24 by Councilman Smith. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been so moved and second by Councilman Kelly. All those in favor say yes.
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 Any opposed say no. I'll call for the roll call on the adoption, beginning with Councilman Smith.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Coniston,
Yes.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Ms. Nerone,
Yes.
Ms. Collier,
No.
Ms. Mack.
No.
That passes 5-2. The yes have it.
Ordinance number 69, 2025, sponsored by Mayor Matthew Burke, co-sponsored by Council President Avery Johnson, Councilwoman Stacey Collier, Councilman Clifford Kelly. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor or his designee to purchase 1 2025 Chevy Tahoe from Preston Chevrolet Kia for the use in Garfield Heights Police Department vehicle fleet and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President,
Councilman Kelly.
I make a motion to consider by title ordinance 69-2025.
There's been a motion placed on the floor by Councilman Kelly to consider by title, ordinance number 69, 2025. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been so moved and seconded by Councilman Smith. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed say no.
President,
Councilman Kelly.
make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
There's been a motion placed on the floor for suspension of the 3 reading rules. Can I please have a second?
Second.
It's been so moved and seconded by Councilman Smith. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed say no.
Mr. President,
Councilman Kelly.
make a motion waiver of Rule 24.
There's been a motion placed on the floor for the waiver of Rule 24 by Councilman Kelly. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been so moved and seconded by Councilman Smith. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed say no. I'll call for the roll call on the adoption, beginning with Councilman Kelly.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Ms. Nerone,
Yes.
Ms. Collier,
Yes.
Ms. Mack,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes,
Ms. Coniston.
Yes.
that passes 7-0.
Ordinance 70, 2025, sponsored by Mayor Matthew Burke, co-sponsored by Council President Avery Johnson, Councilwoman Stacey Collier, Councilman Clifford Kelly. An ordinance authorizing and directing the finance director to levy special assessments to the county auditor to be assessed and collected in the next tax collection pursuant to the requirements of Ordinance 62, 2024, cost of garbage and refuse collection, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President,
Councilman Kelly.
make a motion to consider by title ordinance 70-2025.
There's been a motion placed on the floor to consider by title by Councilman Kelly, ordinance number 70, 2025. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been so moved and seconded by Councilwoman Townsend. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed say no.
Mr. President,
Councilman Kelly.
make a motion to suspend the 3 reading.
There's been a motion placed on the floor by Councilman Kelly for suspension of the 3 reading rules. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been so moved and seconded by Councilwoman Townsend. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, say no.
Mr. President,
Councilman Kelly.
I make a motion, waiver of Rule 24.
There's been a motion placed on the floor for the waiver of Rule 24. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been so moved and second by Councilwoman Tunzi. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, say no. I'll call for the roll call on the adoption, beginning with Councilman Kelly.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Ms. Rhodes,
Yes.
Ms. Collier,
Yes.
Ms. Mack,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes,
Ms. Thompson,
Yes.
that passes 7-0.
Ordinance 71, 2025, sponsored by Mayor Matthew Burke, co-sponsored by Council President Avery Johnson, Councilwoman Stacey Collier, Councilman Clifford Kelly. An ordinance authorizing and directing the finance director to levy special assessments to the county auditor to be assessed and collected on the next tax collection pursuant to the requirements of Chapter 551, lot maintenance of the City of Garfield Heights codified ordinances and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President,
Councilman Smith.
I move to consider by title ordinance 71, 2025.
There's been a motion to consider by title by Councilman Smith. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been so moved and second by Councilwoman Rhodes. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Anyone opposed, say no.
Mr. President,
Councilman Smith.
I move to suspend the 3 reading rules.
There's been a motion placed on the floor by Councilman Smith for the suspension of the 3 reading rules. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been so moved and second by Councilwoman Rhodes. All those in favor say yes.
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 Any opposed, say no.
Mr. President,
Councilman Smith.
I move for a waiver of Rule 24.
There's been a motion placed on the floor for the waiver of Rule 24. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been so moved and second by Councilwoman Rhodes. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, say no. I'll call for the roll call on the adoption, beginning with Councilman Smith.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Thompson,
Yes.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Ms. Rhodes,
Yes.
Ms. Collier,
Yes.
Ms. Mack.
Yes.
All right, that concludes our ordinances for the night. We will move to comments by citizens. And if we have any comments by citizens, we'll have the clerk read the rules. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Comments shall be strictly restricted to any problem a resident has which had previously been submitted to his or her council person or to the city hall department directly involved. If submission of a problem to a city hall department or council person is made, and there is a lack of service rendered in this regard, the problem may then be presented during comments by citizens at a future meeting. It is the intent of this rule that no request of a first nature is presented on the floor at this time. Comments shall be limited to 5 minutes. No citizen shall be heard more than once.
Ms. Creighton, did you have an opportunity to address the council about the speed bumps?
No. Hello again.
You have 5 minutes, ma'am.
This is for the police chief. Is there a certain area of where the speed bumps are gonna go? Do you have a list?
The original list we put together was what's already going out there. I don't know, what did we do, 12 or 15 of them? To see how they worked, to see if they lasted, to see what a pain they were to put in. So that was just the initial list. People have since called, so we just kind of making a secondary list. If we get more, there'll be more locations to go out there.
So is there, the list, the permanent list isn't out yet?
Yeah, there's, we've added like 3, I think, 3 or 4. I've gotten some suggestions on. I'm sure the mayor's gotten a couple, so.
Okay, do you know if one will be going up on Martin Luther King and Maple Road? Because that was my initial concern. I spoke with the mayor. Do you remember me talking to you about that near that corner? And do you know if that is a concern for you? Because when the cars are coming off of Maple Road and Martin Luther King, that corner is really busy. And over a year or so ago, I brought it to council and that attention in that spot right there. And I noticed they were put on the councilwoman's street and they were put on the economic developments on Dressler on that street, and that one's already torn up. That one came up already. And on the councilwoman's street at the end, it kind of served no purpose. And I think there was an accident with a squad car where it came around the corner where she suggested one might go. So I don't know if you're putting one there or not, but I think one would really go well right near Martin Luther King or Maple Road.
Yeah, that was suggested, that's on the list.
It is on the list?
I don't know how many they're buying, or if we're buying more, or we haven't really tested them out to see how well they work yet. We've only been up for a little bit, so maybe as it
Okay.
gets colder, the winter, we don't know how they're gonna last.
Yeah, because I think there's only 2 that was put in our area, and I don't know why they got one, but we would like to have one on our street.
Noted.
Okay.
Well, Mr. President, if I could,
Mayor?
chime in. MLK is a wide street. And we have to buy more parts.
Well, Maple Road's not a wide street.
Right, I get it.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying you're not getting one.
Well, Maple
Just
Road
saying,
is a very
you gotta
narrow street,
understand.
and it goes that way.
This is the very first wave, okay? They're coming up in 90 days probably because of the weather. Because we're not keeping them down for the plows. We don't want to tear up our plows. So if we don't get them in this next wave, then they'll be in next year because I know we're gonna order more of these. It's a successful program. Out of every single speed bump that we put down, I only got one phone call that they didn't like it. And it really prompted me, and council president will vouch for this. We went out and we knocked on those doors. We wanted to make sure that the people that live on Dressler there, did they really hate these or do they want it removed? We talked and we found out that there was just as many residents there, probably 5 residents there, that one guy said, I really don't care either way. The other 4 people said they liked it. Now, that's because I want to make sure that they go where they're supposed to go. I rely
Well, that
on-
one there in front of Roosevelt, I don't know why it came up, but it served no purpose there.
I rely on, well, they said somebody tried to tear it up.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a witness that says that. But honestly, I don't care about that. I want to make sure, speed tables are one thing. They were $12,000 a piece. Speed bumps are $1,200, actually less than $1,200. So we're going to get, I'd like approval from council next year to get 40 more, to be honest with you.
One suggestion I like to make, the one that's on Judson in Cleveland, they have things that go on the side, as far as the street being wide, that you can put up on the sides that make them more narrow.
Well,
That
we
you don't
actually,
have to buy it brings it in and you put things up on the side, and you also put a sign up to let people know that when it's coming up.
I have no
But that
problem.
cuts it out being so wide.
I have no problem buying the extra parts.
Yeah.
That again.
But Maple Road is pretty narrow of a street. So,
Right, I'm talking about MLK,
yeah.
because I witnessed how fast those people come. You were there with me.
Yeah.
But we have to buy the parts to add on to that, and we will. I mean, we will. We're not saying we're not doing it.
Right.
It's just we can only buy as many as they had, which I think was 18 of them they had in stock. So next year, I already told them you might want to start ordering them because I want to buy at least 40 of them next
Well,
year.
on that corner of Maple Road, that street is really narrow, so maybe one could go there and worry about Maple Road, Martin Luther King
We
later.
definitely try.
We thank you, Mel, for,
I still
your
have
comments.
2 minutes.
and we appreciate that very kind.
Can I make a statement on that note, sir? just for everyone who has speed bumps or has, I was asked by the service department in some of my conversation that comments pro, yay, nay, with the speed bumps, if you could put them on the city's complaint line, so that way they could have a place where they could measure the comments and record them, would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am. Thank you, Councilwoman Collier, for your comments. At this time, I don't want to say the last name wrong, but it's Venus. Your last name?
Venizan.
Venizan, okay, there we go.
Okay,
Then we
hello,
have,
council,
Yeah,
hello,
five
mayor. I just came up here because I am original resident of Ward 1. My fiance, my auntie is still on Christina for over 70 years. And me and my fiance went down there. We go down there a lot because we have family. But we went down there yesterday, sharing resources. And I do understand they're lacking resources, and I don't know why. Half of the residents, they let me record them. They just want to thank the mayor, what he's doing. They see what you're doing in the city. It's posted also on my page. But I just want to thank you, Mayor, for that and what you're doing in Ward 1. What you're doing in Ward 1, because evidently they see something totally different. Like I said, I'm originally from there, so that's a place we always go back to share the resources, to share about the drug program, to share about voting. And transportation is an issue down there, I get that. But I just wanted to come up here and say thank you, Mayor, because a lot of the residents, they thank you and they want you to come out and to meet them more. So that's all.
thank you, Venus, appreciate that.
And I want to say thank you for what you do for people that are addicted, and in your program that you do. A lot of people don't know, but Venus has, volunteered her time. She doesn't get paid for it. She just volunteers her time to do these things. And, at some point in time, we're going to have to look at a program to help. It's kind of like an Alcoholic Anonymous program, but it's for opioid people that are addicted to opioids. So I thank you, Venus, for that. Thank you.
At this time, council recognizes Mr. Alvin Cassell. Okay, so Castle, I'm sorry.
Castle.
Castle, Mr. Castle, welcome.
Say good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Castle.
And I'd like to say, I want to thank Council Lady Collier,
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Mayor, Council, especially police.
Let the record reflect that was a lame law director joke.
My reason is, on my street, we have two families that have young men that live there that run their family. And they have a bad habit of setting out fireworks until 1:30 in the morning, getting in the middle of the street and barbecuing in the middle of the street. And they set up table in the middle of the street and eat. And I call the police, and I have called the police for the last, I say from July 4th until now, 6 times. And it's 2 homes. And what I'm concerned about is the elderly. I'm 78, my wife, my neighbors, and my neighbors. We woke up at 3:30 in the morning, they playing loud music. There's a vacant house on our street. They over there next door to my 78-year-old neighbor shooting dice. And this has been going on for years. But this year it has increased. And on the 2 weeks ago, I called the police twice, and they came. I thank God for the police. and they do respond. And when they don't respond, they let me know we have emergencies, which I understand, and I appreciate that. But the point is, these two homes allow their children to go in chaos on the neighborhood. And a perfect example of that, one of my neighbors had ordered some DoorDash food. The person came up in the car, he couldn't get down the street. And he was afraid to get down the street because you got all these young folks mingling around. Cars parked from Dressler to Cranwood Park, and then on my street we have some big vacant lots. They all in the lots, keeping up all kind of noise, playing loud music, and I pray to Jesus Christ to keep me in the house.
Amen.
But when I call, the police do come, and my point is that we need something done to those parents. The owner of that property, allow them to be keeping up all that noise. It's ridiculous. I've been a resident in Garfield Heights for 50 years. And I ain't going nowhere. My next move gonna be in heaven.
Amen. All right.
But my main point is, I got enough sense to know that you have to stand up for what's right.
Correct.
And this is my home, and it hurts me to call the police for something like that, because I don't want to see them get hurt. Because those people carry guns. I have seen them get in the car, put the gun, I take the gun out of their pocket, put it on the seat, go into the house next door. They all got guns. Don't make these young folks ain't got no guns. But I'm just asking that we can get together and resolve this problem and stick with it. And I thank you for the job you all are doing. Yes, Garfield is my home. I appreciate it. I'm thankful for it, and I'm happy. But I also know that I gotta do something.
Yes, sir.
You know, when I went into the military, the first thing that the DI told me, the drill instructor, he looked me in, he looked us in the eye. He said, "It's what you make."
Amen.
Amen and hallelujah. Thank you all very much, and keep up the good work.
President Mr. Castle, I want to say thank you for that. And I appreciate your service to our country as well. But you look awful good for a 70-year-old man. I hope to God that I can maintain that and reach that wonderful age as well. But we thank you. We do hear you, and we're going to address that issue with your councilwoman as well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I'm going to reserve statement because I believe you got one more.
No, that was it for tonight.
So I just want to thank you, Mr. Castle. I want to say thank you, Police Chief. Thank you, Milko. Just so people are aware, we are meeting with, there's people from the street. The chief has graciously volunteered his time for the residents of the street to sit down and have a meeting with them. Our law director has been kind enough to do the draft a letter to help us assist and send a letter to the residents, the owners of the homes, so that we can move forward with trying to stop that. Because I did drive down the street and it looked like Kirk's Bike Week on this one small side street in Ward 1. I'd never seen that many people in one place at one time in Ward 1 ever. So we are addressing it, and it is our hope that we can remedy the situation so that it never happens again, is the hope.
Councilwoman Collier, before we go into executive session, and you'll make that motion, I do want to say that I was asked to do this, and I think it's very important. Mr. Charles Francis Donahue Jr. will have a public viewing on August the 14th on 2025 from 3 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. at Vendroska Funeral Home. Again, Mr. Donahue's public viewing, former councilman, will be held on August the 14th 3 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. with the service following after that. And it's going to be held at Vendroska Funeral Home. Councilwoman Collier?
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we enter into executive session. I move that the council enter into executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 121-22 to consider the investigation of charges or complaints against a public employee, and pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 121-22G4, the other one was G1, to prepare for, conduct, or review negotiations with public employees. Only members of council, the mayor, and the law director, and any such person as council invited shall be present.
That motion to enter into executive session has been carried on the floor by Councilwoman Collier. Can I please get a second?
Second.
It's been so moved and seconded by Councilwoman LaRon. At this time, council will move into executive session.
Aren't you supposed to conclude with?
He does, I do see him.
Take care, Peter.
They all see her. Yeah, I know.